All right, fourth grade, so today we are going to work on making tints. Tints are when you add white to a color. So what you're gonna do first is put your name and class code on the back. Flip it over, then you're gonna fold it in half, hot dog style. Open it back up, then we want to fold it in thirds. The way I do this is I kind of try to do both sides at once. So I put one side, I start to fold it in, but before I crease it, I fold the next side in, and I fold it so this piece of paper is pushing right up against this side, and then I kind of push this so it's meeting this edge, and make sure this flap in here is pushed up against this flap. If you're doing that, it should really easily fold into thirds. Open that back up, and you should have 6 squares of paper, or 6 squares on your paper. What you're gonna do, you are going to pick a color and white. Paint one of those squares with your color by itself. So paint one of those squares with the color by itself first. Then pull most of your white off to the side. Not all of it, I want to leave a little bit. And I'm going to take the tiniest bit of my color, and I'm going to mix that into that bigger pile of white. So I just wanted to add the tiniest bit of red. So now I should have a really light red, or in this case it's a pink, right? So with that really light red, I'm going to paint that. Okay, so then once I've painted my first square with my super light red, then I'm going to add a little bit more red to make it a little bit darker. I always like to test it first, and if I don't think it looks that much darker, I'll just add a smidge more. There we go. You don't want it to get a lot darker, you just want it to get a little bit darker each time. That looks good. So now I've painted that square. I'm going to get another chunk of red. I'll test it first to make sure it's darker. That looks perfect. So then it starts to get pretty hard to make, it starts getting too hard to make it a lot darker by adding it to all this white. So then what I do, once I've painted the top 3 and I have my color by itself, then what I do is I take my remaining color by itself and I take just a tiny bit of white and I add that to the color by itself. So then it takes the regular color and makes it just a little bit lighter. Now red's a pretty dark color, so I'll probably have to add I'm just going to take the rest of my white, since I only have 1 square left. All right, so there are my tints. It should be getting darker and darker as you move your way down. This is as much as we're going to be doing today, but next time we'll turn this into something really cool. So let's get started.